Hey, Travis here at Barna Parts. Today I want to talk about the wobble bearing delete kit. Give you guys a better understanding of what it is, some installation pointers. So what you can see here, this shaft here is a 14 to 15 setup, and as you can see, it has a double row bearing, which is a wobble bearing. So that's what we're looking to eliminate. This setup here is a fixed race bearing on a newer model. So a lot of guys were buying the newer jack shaft and updated chain case to make this switch, but it's quite costly. So we were able to come up with a much more budget-friendly conversion kit that allows you to retain the use of your original jack shaft and your original case. So the 14 and 15 have this spanner nut tapered lock collar wedge assembly, and the 16 still has a wobble bearing, but they eliminated this spanner nut and threaded collar. They increased the OD of the shaft, and but they still retained the wobble bearing. So we have a kit that will work. Well, it's a separate kit for the 16, but we have a solution for both variations. So when you're going to install this setup, you know, the biggest hiccup that a lot of people have is taking apart the original setup on a 14 and 15. And I think a lot of guys just don't understand how it works. So when you go to remove this, you're going to unscrew the spanner nut, and then you'll take the locking washer off. And then as you can see, there'll still be some threads exposed for that tapered collar. So when that nut's drawn on there, it tightens everything and locks everything on the shaft. So everything's going to stay fixed in place even after you remove the nut. So what you need to do is you need to find a piece of pipe. And I find just a conventional 1-inch Schedule 40 pipe, about 4 inches long. You can pick up a piece of this at your Home Depot, Lowe's. So you'll want to slide that on the end of the shaft to make contact so it seats on this threaded portion of the collar, and then you're going to want to drive the collar inward to unseat it. So once you do that, you know, then the assembly will loosen up and you'll be able to slide it off, and then you know, you won't have to deal with this setup anymore. So the kit that for the 14-15 is going to require one spacer, so this will slide on first. You know, that matches up then to the shoulder dimension on a newer shaft. And then you'll have a bearing with a pressed in collar, which reduces the ID down to match, you know, the shaft diameter of the 14-15, and then that would just slide on, you know, and then once you put your snap ring on there, then it holds everything in place. The other thing that's required, the wobble bearing is a thicker bearing. It's 4 millimeters thicker than the 6206. So when you press this bearing into your housing, you will also get a 4 millimeter shim that will go on top of this, and then you will put the snap ring in, so that'll make up for the difference in thickness. I actually don't have any on hand to show you, but you can see the pictures on the website. That's what you'll get with it. So if you have a 16 sled, you will just get the bearing, and because the 16 jack shaft has the correct 30 millimeter OD to match this bearing, there will not be a collar pressed into the bearing. So you will just get the bearing, you'll get that 4 millimeter shim, and then you will also get 2 shim washers that will go between the bearing on this side of the bearing and then the snap ring to make up that 4 millimeters difference on the jack shaft. So I hope this clarifies and gives you guys a better understanding of what you know, what the kit's doing and what you're replacing. You know, the wobble bearing has been known to be kind of a problematic bearing over the years. So this will be a much more affordable way to eliminate that headache. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.